Terry, Melissa, take it away.
Great. How's it going, guys?
Awesome.
So a little story behind this whole thing is a friend of ours, Damien Calais. He's on tonight. So he reached out and said, "Hey, I think you guys need to take a look at this coffee." And we didn't think much of it, but then we got the samples in, and we actually fell in love with the product. Long story short, I have an extra vertebrae in my back, and always dealing with pain, wake up with pain, go to bed with pain, stiffness, and that sort of thing. And my days were just long, and my days start around 2:45 in the morning, and they don't end roughly till about 9:30, sometimes 10 o'clock at night. So, and I don't really take naps in between that. I don't really have the time, or I just don't do it really. So I started taking the coffee, drinking the coffee, and in the Xanthamax, and I started noticing my days just became easier and not so much pain in my back and my body. And I was kind of blown away by the whole thing, because I was always just really low on energy. And my wife started taking it, and that's kind of where we really saw the breakthrough in this product. And honestly, I'll just let my wife Melissa take over and let her explain a little bit how this coffee really came into play into our lives, and why we chose this company to really share the message and share the product, and why we believe in it so much, and how we saw an opportunity to help so many others out there with this product. And
with the product everyone's drinking, though.
Yeah, and honestly, it's coffee. I mean, you go to Starbucks, you go to wherever, you just see lines out the door and lines out through on the drive-through, just crazy. And Melissa and I both looked at each other and said, "Hey, this is a product that everyone is drinking. We both consume it on a daily basis." And we started getting quite a remarkable response back on the coffee when we started introducing it to friends and family and coworkers, and we both looked at each other and said, "I think we found a home run." So, but I wanna pass it over to my wife and let her tell her breakthrough story on this product and how it's really changed her life.
So I'll set this stage. I guess about 5 years ago, I was feeling awful. I had no energy, brain fog like crazy. Went to many doctors, told me I was fine. I work too much. I have 3 kids. I'm married. I have a family, and that's just life. So kept looking until about a year ago, which is about the same time that Damien introduced us to this coffee. Went to a gal that goes to our church, and she read your blood and determined I had the beginnings of Hashimoto, and started doing natural supplements and things like that. But I was still so tired, had so much brain fog, as well as having a family and everything. I also run and work in a salon, so those are long days on top of it. And so Damien, like my husband said, reached out to us and said, "You guys already drink coffee." And I drink a lot of coffee and anything caffeinated just to get energy.
Right.
You guys should totally try this.
Yep.
It's like the most amazing coffee you'll ever have.
Life changing.
So
is what he said.
We ordered coffee, and actually the first day I went to take it, I was under the weather plus all my symptoms. And so I took my coffee in the morning and my Xanthamax. And because I was not a believer at that moment, I packed another coffee and another Xanthamax to take later in the day. And so went to work. The day went on. I didn't need the other coffee or the other Xanthamax, and I made it all day till about 10:30 that night. And that was a first for me. Yep. And so it's kind of like the best way I can describe it is people who need glasses. Everything's kind of fuzzy until you put them on, and then all of a sudden your energy is better, your brain fog is gone, you have better focus. That's how it was for me. And so we decided we were long consumers of the product. We were customers for a while. And then we decided, you know what, this is too good to keep to us.
Yeah.
We're going to do the business side of it, and told Damien, we're all in, let's do this. Because we actually did join the business with him when we first ordered the product, but we decided to keep trying it. And we tried it for about 6 months, and then we ran out and I forgot to order it. And I was like, I'll get to it, how we all put it off to the side. And so about a month went by, at least a month, and I turned to my husband. I was like, I think we need to order that coffee again, because I don't feel good again. Everything reverted backwards. And so that's when we decided we were going to order the coffee and we were going to do the business and just run with it. So the rest has been.
Yeah. So thank you, Damien.
Thank you, Damien.
Yeah, thank you guys. So, when Terry and Melissa found out about this, we were all madly in love with another company. And when I first found out about this, I was madly in love with another company. And, this industry of direct selling has truly been a blessing for me. The growth that's come from it, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, all of my best friends in the entire world right now I've met in this industry, because they're all a lot like me. They want more out of life than what they're currently getting right now, and they're willing to take chances on different things to, get their family living certain qualities of life. So when Chris approached me on this, and Chris is on here too, initially I wasn't open because I was in love with that previous company. And, one of the things that I saw in that company was the ability to get a customer was really hard. And the ability to keep a customer was really hard. And then to, convince someone to spend $175 on a product that they don't really feel, and there's really no impact immediately. And, it was just really hard to retain customers there. So here, when I met Chris, and Chris and I have been friends for almost a decade, and he showed me back in November of 2018, that he had over 60,000 customers consuming this product. My jaw about dropped. I'm like, how in the heck? I'm having a hard time keeping one customer, on auto ship, and he had 60,000 customers.
That's when we really looked at it really closely. We were like, holy cow, we need to get into this. And so
something's going on here that we don't quite understand. And something that we don't, when I first joined the company back in November, I really didn't even take the product. I tried it a couple times and I was just like, all right, this is cool. But then now that I've been on it for a month consecutively, I've lost 20 pounds in 4 waist sizes. My energy levels are through the roof. I just happen to forget about eating, and you don't even think about it. It's almost like,
I hate to interrupt you, but I have to share this.
Yeah.
So since I've been retaking it for about a month now, I'm down 13 pounds, almost 14 pounds. And honestly, some people that are on here tonight know that I've had a little issue with just getting rid of that stubborn belly fat. And it's just, I love my Italian food a little too much, the bread. And so yeah, that's kind of happened to myself. So I had to share that. So it's
kind of a side effect of the product, guys. It's kind of a side effect. You drink, we're not selling this coffee as a weight loss product, but almost like the majority of almost everybody is losing weight on this product. So, my question to you is, how many people do you know that drink coffee? About 80% of America probably, or more. And how many people do you know that would like to feel happy? And if the byproduct of those two things was losing some weight, think about what's going on here. You got people already spending money on something. So we're not asking them to buy something new. They're already spending money on something. Now, if it were somebody like me, I came up with the number for last year is I spent over $6,400 at Starbucks in 2018. $6,400. You can do the math yourself. It's $14 a day. Multiply that by, I was probably going there 5-6 days a week. You'll come up with right around $6,400. So I saw this as a way that I can still drink my coffee. I can turn something that costs me money into a revenue stream simply by asking people, hey, what do you know about that happy coffee that everybody's been talking about lately? And if everybody's been talking about it, they don't know about it, then chances are they want to find out about it. So fast forward to, like I said, that month ago, I got started in November, but I really didn't start the business in November. And I reconnected with Chris. Chris and I have been friends for almost a decade, and maybe 5 weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago. and Chris had 92,000 customers. So I was like, November you had 60, now you got 92,000, and I'm willing to bet that today he's probably got more than 100,000 customers. I know recently he was at 97 or something like that. So guys, this product is viral and this product sells itself. All you got to do is get people to try it. If you get people to try it and they get the same results of everything that we're hearing, then it's truly an amazing thing to be able to turn something that you spend money on into a revenue stream. And that's what I tell people. Listen, think about all the different things in your life you're passionate about. Turn it into a revenue stream. Why not? Multiple streams of income. You never know when one's going to dry up. So I want to go ahead and pass this over to my buddy Chris. Chris is really the reason why, he's everybody in this company looks up to Chris as the leader in the space. He's created a culture in this company of love and connection and just loving on people, and just really an amazing leader, an amazing mentor. And I'm just going to toss it on over to him and let him kind of chat for a second as to what we got over here and why it's so special. Over to you, Chris.
I have to unmute myself. So awesome. I appreciate you guys jumping on board. It's really simple. I got involved in this industry, I would say 20 years ago, and I'm not going to go into the whole backstory, but I wasn't like this huge success right off the bat. But by 2005, I was making a six-figure income, and had that kind of income all the way up into the end of 2015. So 15, I would say, was my last year doing that. I went from that to basically, 8 to 10 grand a month at the time to literally $2,500 a month. And what I found myself doing, and really it boiled down to me getting sick. It boiled down to having a bone infection that literally took me out. I went from having savings to 40 grand in credit card debt. Air conditioning went out of the house, couldn't afford it. A month behind on my mortgage. I bought a $100,000 boat back in 2014 that I put 25 down on, and I couldn't literally afford a $600 boat note at the time. It was the most disempowering state I'd ever been in. Long and the short of it is I got myself healthy by the end of 2017. In actually September. November, a friend of mine calls me up and he starts telling me about this crazy coffee called Elevate. And what it boiled down to is he had invested into this public company, not having any idea that they owned this company. And what he told me was, he's like, oh, they gave me coffee as a gift. I like coffee. He started drinking it. And then he started to look at it and he's like, well, sounds great, right? It says weight managing, mood enhancing, nootropic infused, happy coffee. Now, guys, how many of you all, if you heard happy and coffee together, are going to say, I need to try that stuff? Because that's exactly what I thought. It also increases energy, enhances clarity, boosts memory, burns fat, curbs cravings, and elevates mood. So he saw all this stuff, but didn't think too much about it, started drinking it. Not only did he end up being down 40 pounds within a couple months, but he started recognizing that he wasn't taking his pain meds the way that he was prior to, and literally was going through detox because of it. He had been on these meds since for almost 12 years at the time, and basically weaned himself off of all but about 1 or 2 a day due to what this product did. So what he found out was, when he started talking to the formulator, is that he goes, I can't say that this healed you, but a lot of times our body will heal. But when you're taking opioids, your brain will tell you that you need the stuff. Even though your body doesn't, the pain your brain will say, hey, you have pain, so where you take the medication. So and when he talked to his doctor actually said the same thing. And what he found out is that this and this together, which this is called the Happy Pill. It's actually called Xanthamax, but I couldn't pronounce that when we first got started. So Happy Pill's way easier. But these two together release the happy chemicals in your body. So what does that mean? You drink this, literally mix it up in a cup of water or add it to your coffee, however you like, and it is coffee. And what it does is it causes your brain to balance out the hormones, and then your brain starts releasing dopamine, oxytocin, which is the only substance known to man to naturally release oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Together, we call it dose. And when you take dose, all these happy chemicals are being released. So a byproduct of that is people that, like myself, when I got on this product, I was so far behind in money-wise that I was going through a sense of anxiety. I wouldn't say I was depressed to where I was thinking suicidal or anything, but I was thinking my life sucked and it's time to turn it around. And what I can tell you is that when I drank this stuff within 15 minutes, I just knew. I can't even explain it, but I knew that we had something special here. So fast forward, we looked at what we had and we said, you know what? We have two products that together are priced less than $100 for two products. Most companies out there, the products are super expensive, and most people aren't going to, spend a whole lot of money. It's mainly a promoter-based consumption model, like what Damien was talking about, and that's why it was hard to get customers. But when you're talking about 40-something bucks and 40-something bucks together, people will do that. Or if you want to do one, or you want to do both, or however you want to do it, you can do it. But I saw this as being a home run. The last thing was I knew that, environment is everything. Culture is everything. So it was so important to create a culture behind what we had because we knew the product was doing what it did. We knew that people were getting results because when we started to share this with other people, within 15 minutes, most people were feeling something. Most people in 15 minutes were like, what in the world is in this coffee? Is it legal? Things like that, right? So what we did is we created a model behind that. And guys, what our model is based on is love and connection, because can we all agree that people nowadays are so connected to this that we don't have this connection, that we're not really connecting with people the way that we are, which in turn is one of the things that create happiness, is that love and connection. The other thing is people need to feel important. They need to feel significant. So our culture is such to where we show people that we care about them, that they matter, that they are part of something. And we don't basically have people comparing themselves to other people. So it's all about love and connection, making people feel significant, and showing people that by just doing a little bit that they're contributing to the bigger cause. And our cause has been, what our movement has been about is how many people can we impact and basically save their life from a place of anxiety, depression, or whatever other things that they're dealing with in life, the brain fog, the clarity, and all that, and basically open their life up to another level of happiness is one side of our cause. The other side of it is how many people would $500 to $1,000 totally change their life. And let's face it, guys, most companies, all they want to focus in on is the person making, millions of dollars and all this stuff. And the reality is most people don't believe that that's possible for them. But what I can tell you, what we've seen here was that what was possible for everyone is to be able to make an extra $500 to $1,000 and do it very, very quickly. To give you an idea, if you just went out there and got started as a promoter with our company, we're talking about a $99 investment. And if you picked a pack where you can buy different amounts of product for a lower price, and I'm just going to use the larger pack as an example, somebody can go out there and literally make an extra $480 by having two people that decide they wanted to be an affiliate as well as get 7 customers. So with that being said, guys, somebody can go out there and make an extra $500 to $1,000 very quickly, and that's why it works. So fast forward. We knew that we had to have a model where people felt like they were growing, because you're either growing or you're dying. The last thing that we focused in on was having such simplicity that anybody can do it, because let's face it, most people don't want to go out and sell something. They don't want to talk to their friends and family. They don't want to go out there and push something. So we had to have the conversation super simple. So really this is it. And if you can do what I'm about to share, you can have a lot of success, because we already know that when you try this product, you're going to feel it, because everyone, if they do this for 30 days, they're going to know something happened. I don't care who you are. Never heard anybody trying it for 30 days and not noticing something better in their life. With that being said, it really boils down to this. If you can ask somebody if they know anybody that drinks coffee, what do you think most people are going to say? They're going to say, of course I know people that drink coffee. In fact, I drink it and I love it. Or, hey, do you know anybody that likes to be happy? Now, who would say no to that? That would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? What I can share with you is that if you literally just ask those 2 questions and then say, hey, have you heard about the happy coffee everyone's been talking about? What will happen is most people, 90% of the people will say, hey, what's happy coffee? Because everybody's already drinking coffee. So what happens is they say, what's happy coffee? You say, oh my God, you share your story, just like Terry and Melissa did, just like Damien did. And if you can share your story and you can ask somebody if they've heard about the happy coffee, you're already trained. So you don't have to go through some big training model. You don't have to learn a whole bunch of stuff. You already know what to do. So guys, if you could do that, send somebody a quick website. So how do you explain that? You share your story and say, hey, if I sent you a quick 3-minute video, when do you think you could watch? Next step, basically add them to a Facebook group where they can see story after story after story, where people come up with their own natural logical conclusion. So guys, if you can do what I just shared, and then if people ask questions, put them on the phone with someone else to answer the questions for you so you don't have to answer the questions, then you can do this. It's really that simple. And guys, what happens is most people, and we're about to finish up because I know a lot of people might be jumping on for another call that we have, but it really boils down to this. If you're like most people, and everybody that gets on this feels something, so you have a choice. You can either tell people about it like most people do, or people are going to notice something different about you. In fact, I was talking to this guy, Anthony, earlier today, and he was sharing about how him and his ex-girlfriend, she just is argumentative with him all the time, and he gets plugged in and wants to argue. And he said, the craziest thing that made me realize that I need to do this and share this with everyone is that when I started drinking this stuff and she would try to do what she always does, I just didn't care. It wasn't worth it to argue. So with that being said, it really boils down to one of two things. You can go out and share this product with people and you can get paid to do it, or you can share it with people and let somebody else get paid to do it. And what I would say is most people are allergic to extra money. So what happens is most people end up recruiting themselves into this company. So guys, it really boils down to this. Most people are going to look at this information. They're going to say, hey, you know, I want to be happy. I want to try the product. If you're that person, you're number one. Get back with Terry and Melissa and let them know you're number one. Or number two is somebody says, you know what, this makes a lot of sense. I mean, if I'm getting the benefits that you're saying, I'm going to go out and tell people I might as well get paid to do that. And no, I'm not allergic to extra money. So, you know, let's go out there and do this. You're number two. Get back with Melissa or Terry and let them know if you're number two. Guys, it's really that simple. Get back with Melissa and Terry and let them know, hey, I'm a one, I want to be happy, or I want to be happy and make extra money, or number two. That being said, we appreciate you all jumping on real quick, and we will talk to you all later. Everybody have an awesome night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great night.